Hello ladies and gents, and welcome back to Wrist of Time. My name is Si, and we're back with a Wrist of Time radio. Today, as you've seen by the title of this video, I'm going to be discussing my Apple Watch Series 5. I've owned this for a year now. It has become my daily wearer. That may be sacrilege to a few of you listening who are automatic only. However, I want to talk about its merits. I want to talk about some things I don't like about it. And I want to say why I use it now as my daily and why, to be honest, it's all the watch you need. Controversial, I know, but hey ho, that's what this show's meant to be. It's about starting a discussion. So, as I said earlier on, I've owned the Apple Watch Series 5 for a year now. I also own the Series 6, however, the Series 5 is my daily wearer. I do wear it with a protective case, which is reviewed in one of my videos, and a protective strap. So I will link those in the description below. But why has it become my daily wearer? Simply, it's ease of use. I can do all sorts of stuff on this watch that I simply cannot do with a automatic or a quartz standard watch. I can pay for my morning coffee with it. I can track my fitness with it. If I go into a run, I can stick the watch on, it will record my run, If I go to a cafe or to a drive-through at the moment, of course, not many cafes are open, I can pay with it. It's just really, really convenient. It links to your phone, to your card. A lot of people will say, well, it's not really a watch, is it? It's a small computer on your wrist. And that's kind of what it is. I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. It doesn't pretend to be anything else. Pricing, for under £500, I think that's a pretty good deal for a little wrist-mounted computer. And I don't think necessarily you need to be overly snobby about people who wear them. Yes, Apple like to make lots of claims about being the world's most loved watch. I don't agree with that at all. But we're not talking high horology here. We're talking a tool watch. And it is the perfect tool watch. Put a big case on it, put a strap that's water resistant, and this is easily replaced all of my G-Shocks, I'm sad to say, as a daily wearer, as a work watch, as something you take to the park. In fact, the only reason, I'd even put on now one of my Swiss pieces is if I just fancied a change on a weekend. There are, however, some negatives. The biggest negative for me is the battery life. Now, if I wear the watch conservatively, i.e. I simply wear it, I don't use it for exercise or perhaps don't make many payments with it, I can get roughly 2 days out of a battery. But that is it. And as you know, that is dreadful. Even a Garmin, I think, will last a week, maybe even longer. And some of these watches will last a month at a time. And indeed, automatics will go, until they need servicing. So how do we get around that? I don't know. You're starting to look at solar charging. Will solar power charge up the battery enough for the features of a watch like this? I'm not sure. However, it's worth a note, isn't it? Apparently Apple are bringing out their Apple Watch Explorer. I've seen that on the news recently. It'll be very interesting to see where that goes, whether it will have some sort of extended battery life. If you are out in the sticks, perhaps you're not going to have a charger. Although we can all carry battery packs with us these days. I know I use one for charging mine. Another con, the durability. I said I'd put a case on mine, and you have to. These things are very easy to break, particularly if you have, like mine, the aluminium model with the Iron X glass, which is essentially a mineral glass. It's not as hard as a sapphire, and from reports that I've seen, even the sapphire glass of the stainless steel Apple models is not very scratch resistant. Actually scratches at a level where sapphire shouldn't scratch. So it may be that there's some investigation needs to be going on there. So durability, yeah, if you bang it or knock it, it's basically stuffed, and then you're going to have to replace it. The bands themselves, I don't use an Apple band. I use a band, as I said earlier, from Urban Armour Gear, which is fantastic. I think the Apple bands are one of the biggest cons going. £50 for a bit of, cloth or those horrible rubber things that they use that don't even fit properly and stretch, and just a real dreadful con. I personally wouldn't buy them. I think I've got a couple and I really don't like them at all. The Other things I don't like about the watch, silly little things, constantly telling you to breathe, constantly telling you to stand up. We don't need all these features. The completely failure. This is the Series 6. The complete failure of the blood oxygen monitor, which never ever works. Why that's needed, who knows? Not me. I don't know. But you know, that's what Apple think we need, so that's what Apple will put on. Pros of the watch, though, other than payments, fitness, ease of use, integration with the iPhone or the Apple ecosystem, the fact you can change the faces. I like very much the fact that you can simply have the GMT face if you want. You can play with all the complications. As somebody who likes collecting watches and who has a very large collection, a myriad of different styles and types, to be able to sort of change that on the go is an absolute godsend, because it keeps you sometimes from even buying a new watch. You think, well, I'll just change the face on this. So, in conclusion, I'll wrap this up because this is a very short little radio show. I've had the Apple Watch Series 5 for a year. I love it. It's my daily driver. I highly recommend, if you are an Apple person or you're in that ecosystem, go and get one. No, it is not going to replace your weekend watch, your Tudor or your Breitling or whatever you may have. It may not even replace your G-Shock if you're truly into sport, or your Sunto or anything like that. But if you are an Apple fan and you want a cool looking watch that is kind of hip and is going to kind of satisfy you on a daily basis, I would say definitely go for it. As I said, I'm talking sort of specifically about the Series 5, which actually isn't on sale anymore. But the Series 6 is the same price as you would have paid for the Series 5. And I think it's a great buy for, again, under that £500 mark. Yes, you can argue, well, it's going to be obsolete in 5 years, but realistically, a watch that you buy, £500, you may not have it in 5 years anyway. £100 a year for use, I think that's fair. I think that's pretty good. So thanks for listening, guys. Please let's have a discussion in the comments below. I like to read all your comments and all your discussion points, especially as we're not talking about, a particularly horological point of view here. We're talking about a technological point of view. So let's have a listen, let's have a discussion, and I'll see you all soon.